Hello and welcome to Move the Line Prop Drop Show presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. I'm Ryan Noonan back with my friends to talk about the best way and the most profitable way to bet on NFL football for the last time this season. That is through player props. We are going to continue here on the channel here. So if you're hanging out with us on YouTube, subscribe to the 4for4 Bets YouTube channel, subscribe to the Move the Line podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. Joining me here, as always, Connor Allen, who wrote one of the most extensive, best possible previews to this game as he does every year. I think this year's was even a little bit better. Check that out over on the site for free. Connor, what's going on, buddy?
I appreciate that. Yeah, not a whole lot. It's like you spend like a couple of days like slaving over all the data, and looking at like all this different stats and context. And then there's like this lull where I'm just like betting on as much shit as possible because I think I have an edge. And, I won't know. I mean, I guess, you won't know for sure either way because it's a 1-game sample. But, we'll find out on Sunday whether or not it pans out. It almost always does. There's almost always edges in like some of these random bullshit markets. So we'll talk about more of them later, throughout the show. But love doing this show. It's super fun. It's sad that it'll be gone for the off season. But, I think that we're going to try and run it back next year. Still TBD, not 100%, but we're going to try our best.
We got to lock in the big dog here, obviously joining us from Odds Jam. You can find him on Twitter @SlopRules. John, hi, Slop. What's up, buddy?
Just living the dream, man. Yeah, it was a rough week last week without the show. I was like, are we doing this or what? Like, I'll get on and talk about nothing. But yeah, no, I'm glad to have the Super Bowl here finally.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fantastic game. I'm really excited to break it down. We you want to get more like football-specific game sides and total stuff. Connor, myself, Sharp Clark did our game preview show on Wednesday. That's available here on the 4for4 Bets YouTube channel. You can find that obviously in the podcast feed as well. And again, like we'll take a little bit of time off, maybe a week. It's kind of what we did last year. And then Connor and I will be, back in the saddles here, doing shows every single week until football kicks off next year. We have free agency, coaching changes, the NFL draft. We love to get into the weeds on. So again, subscribe to the channels. Don't miss a show. They're, really hopeful that the draft betting market is a little bit more robust than previous years, but we'll see. Either way, talking about it, I think those things are very interesting to football hardos. And again, if we could find a way to, find an edge, make some money off of it, even better. So hopefully the books are not quite as shy. Again, you can head over to the site, 4for4.com/plans right now. Discount, obviously, because football season's almost over. Though we do have, again, we're still NBA, MMA, and some other stuff too. You just want to ride with us. You want to get into the Discord, get all the official plays when those are pushed out here. $9.99. Use the just go over to the site. Promo code WIN, Connor. WIN is a promo code that they can take advantage of too, if I'm not mistaken. Folks can go for free. Check out Connor's breakdown that I just talked about. I pumped out about 4,000 words today on tackles, literally breaking down every single tackle line that is on the board here. We'll get to some of those here in the show, but if you want like just be on the crapper for the weekend and just kind of scroll, that's free. 4for4.com. Check it out. So, all right. This is a different week because the offering is massive, right? So, we get into some of the, off the board stuff. I imagine this is going to go all sorts of ways here today, but Connor and I will give you the floor first. No stale bread, live lines, things that people can bet on now. I don't want to put you in a box. This could be novelty props. This could be cross sports, whatever you want to do. We can get to a spot where you could share stuff you've already done. However we want to go, this is going to be off the wall, I'm sure, but floor is yours to get us started.
So I'm going to have 2 official plays that I'm releasing here. One's going to be for 1 full unit. One's going to be for half a unit. We're going to start with the full unit one. You can find this over on Bet Rivers and FanDuel. And you can find this specifically on FanDuel by clicking on the Super Bowl tab and then scrolling right over to passing props and scroll down to other QB props. So again, it's important to understand where to find this because this shit is everywhere. Like it is all over the place. They've done a horrible job organizing all their menus. So got to let you guys know where to find it. So I took Mahomes to have a higher completion rate than Brock Purdy in this game. It's only -120. We took this in the last Super Bowl. And the more that I broke down the game, the more that I thought about it, you're looking at a team here where the Chiefs pass defense is awesome. They're like top 5 in basically every metric. They're allowing just a 60% completion rate on the year. Brock Purdy, obviously has a higher completion rate than Patrick Mahomes by like 1.5% on the whole season, but he's played 2 top 5 pass defenses in those games. 44 and 56% completion rate. And then now he gets the Chiefs, who are, very much strong as well. And on the other side, Mahomes last 2 games, 76 and 73% completion rate, matching up against the Niners defense that loves to play zone, loves to only rush 4 and try and get pressure. I think that leads to a lot of shorter completions where they're trying to not get beat over the top, keep the ball in front of them. And we're looking at Mahomes completing 70% of his passes against that exact matchup this year. So I think there's things working for Mahomes to have kind of a shorter ADOT, a lot of completion type of game, and things working against Brock Purdy where it's more like run, maybe a shot crosser kind of game for the 49ers. And so I think that combination there really, lends to some value here for Mahomes' higher completion rate than Purdy. I already took Purdy passer rating under, was one of my first bets of the week. And I know this is kind of doubling down, but I think there are outs where maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, the Niners offense is just sick and Mahomes still beats him in completion rate because he's just dunking his way downfield. So I think this adds extra outs here specifically as well.
Yeah, I tailed the passer rating one. I thought that was wild, but I thought your process was really good. And that's kind of like, man, it is definitely Super Bowl week. We were betting on passer rating over-unders type stuff, which is absolutely insane. Slop, any thoughts to that matchup? Or, again, you can get the floor too with, your prop and then game thoughts. I know what Connor thinks of the game, but, obviously you and I have not spoken on what you think of the game too.
Yeah. Connor's article, it was insane. I read it and I couldn't even I just had to retweet it. I think you call it retweet still, right? Repost it just
Yeah.
because I was I can't transfer any of this to here. This is what Connor said. That was very good. I think he broke down very well. I'm in the same camp. I'm not a big Purdy guy this week at all. I would think that the smartest thing the 49ers could do is not let him throw the ball very many times. His under pass attempts at 31.5 earlier in the week was actually, I thought, pretty strong, even though I think that number's gone now, so it's not going to be a play or anything. But one place I would look, Deebo Samuel, 6+ receptions, plus 140 at FanDuel. I think this is the only way they can do anything. I think Ayuk is pretty much out of the equation just by after reading Connor's article. I vote him off the island. He's done. There's no way that he's going to do anything against the Chiefs defense. Looking at their at the numbers on the season, though, only 5 teams in the NFL gave up fewer receptions to the receiver position. So if you want to move the ball against them, the receiver probably isn't the way to do it. But I know Deebo is a receiver, but they're going to move him around. They can do little weird things with him. They put him everywhere. It's not like he just lines up on the outside and runs routes. He is everywhere. He can get those little pop passes that count as receptions. Bullshit screens or receptions. So I think that's the way. I think he could catch 7 balls. I think that is, hang on, I'll get you plus 235 right now at FanDuel. So that's his range. That's the way. That's the way I see it going.
Yeah, I think Ayuk is going to be involved. But
they're going to try. But I don't know how good.
Dude is so good at getting open. ESPN's got that open score stuff and looking at tracking separation. Year over year since the dude's been in the league, he gets open. I'm not dismissing anything Deebo wise because I think Deebo can get it done too. But I like L'Jarius Sneed. He's a good player. He's done some great stuff, shutting down some other top tier wide receivers this season. But man, in terms of others, the way that scheme is, having to account for all these other players. I think Ayuk is involved too. But yeah, I like where you're looking there. I'm devastated. The play I was about to push out that I've been sitting on for 3 days. That market is gone currently. It's disappeared within the last 20 minutes.
What?
Yes, no current head-to-head tackle props on FanDuel. The pivot, I have it ready to go. I'm ready to push. I'm ready to play. I'm just ready to actually bet it myself finally. But FanDuel did this earlier today. They took.
I see it.
You see it?
I see
Is it in a different spot? What do I have to do?
So you gotta go click on Super Bowl and then scroll all the way over to DST props, and I'm still seeing it. I just queued it up in the slip because I guessed what it was. So
you did.
I don't know.
Okay.
Can you not find it? Maybe you give yourself.
I might have been
time.
in the game. Sometimes it's weird if you're in the game and there's that's what I hate about these menus. They do such a poor job. Don't make it so hard. You can't be in the game.
You got to go back. You got to go back out of the game.
Okay, so going to Super Bowl, not in the game, and I can go to DST props. That makes more sense. That's so okay. All right, we're good.
We good? We got it. I want to make sure you
get.
get down on it. It's your prop. It's like we can't.
I know. I panicked for a second. I'm like, I want to put it out, and it's not even available.
Devastated.
I was, man. I've been waiting. These happen. You would sandbag this thing for days so that I can give it out on the show, and I want to make sure we get down.
Like telling people to take the opposite and keeping the number there.
yeah, it's happened. It's a few times. I actually had to play something the other day because your friend of the show, Anthony Amico, was in our group chat talking about it with a bunch of sharps market movers, and I'm like, I want to save that for Friday's show with Slop. We'll talk about it now. I had to push it out. So, man.
Fucking Anthony.
Right. Classic Amico.
Damn it, Amico.
All right. First play for me. It's on FanDuel. FanDuel only. Again, as you can see, you need to go into Super Bowl, not into the game. You can slide over to DST props, go down. They have a most tackles and assists. They have a head-to-head. They have a handful of these. We're going to take Justin Reed of the Chiefs, minus 110 over Jair Brown of the 49ers. Again, broke this down extensively in my article that is free on the site today. Again, you can get literally every line of these moves. So line, my projection, the over hit rates, the under hit rates, and the EV based off of the price. And you can go crazy. Basically, so there's a lot to be had here. But Reed is an important piece of this defense here. He's going to play a lot of box snaps, and safeties have really feasted against the Niners this season. They have actually the highest per game average of tackles and assists, and like 4.7 above the league average, 15.8 tackles per game. Now FanDuel has a rogue 5.5 that you have to pay a little bit for. But again, this is the best way to do it, is just take him head to head against Jair Brown, because it's the complete opposite. The Chiefs have actually been one of the worst spots in the league for tackles and assists. So we're getting a bump on Brown because Brown dropped 10 tackles in that game against the Lions. Well, guess who the best spot in the league is for tackles and assists for safeties? It's the Lions. So we're getting a little bit of like recency bias on the Jair Brown stuff. So give me Justin Reed. Whoever else is like 6.5. I like the under just straight up on Brown, to be honest, as well. So Reed minus 110, great look. FanDuel specific, more tackles than Jair Brown. So
where is
absolutely
that?
love it. FanDuel only.
Yeah, but where?
Click on Super Bowl.
Uh,
Not in the game.
Yes, you can't be in the game. Like it won't. They'll not. Same with the completion percentage one. You can't click on the game. So click on your home button and then click on the Super Bowl tab, and you click on that. And you click on more NFL, and then just like scroll over, and you like at the top. You never can click on the game. That's like they hide this shit. I don't understand. Like the books don't want these hands.
It's more NFL.
Then, like, sorry, I'm FanDuel, friends of the show, but like,
player matchup.
Yeah.
DST props. Keep sliding.
Let's see here.
Passing, rushing, receiving, kicking, punting, DST. Scroll down. Jair Brown versus Justin Reed.
Yep. Yeah, he's almost there. There you go. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's minus 150 now. Look at that. That moved from literally minus 110. I think it's still, minus 150. It's not bad. It's probably closer to what it should be, right?
Probably what it should be. Yeah. And it's still better than just having Reed's over at 5.5, which is minus 152. So, yeah. It's crazy.
It's minus 150 now. Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, classic me. Sorry, Ken. There's a good call. I I was in the game. So like books for some reason want you to jump through all the hoops. Here we are. But yeah, that's a banger. That's a banger. I like that quite a bit.
I played his under too before I started reading. So I read your column and I was like, oh, his under generally is like plus, it was 5.5 plus money, right? So I bet his under, but if you like Reed to have like 6 or 7, then that probably makes more sense.
So when we get a well-respected person in the space in terms of projections and rankings and things like that, put out Jair Brown to lead the game in tackles, and that massively moved the Jair Brown market. And kind of smart guy, kind of a donkey play. Like I don't think that there's now that he's like 12 to 1. Again, it was 75 or whatever at the time. And that's fine. I'm not going to begrudge anyone putting down some beer, pizza money on a 75 to 1 bet. But in terms of his actual projection, it was going to be really hard. It just doesn't have the ceiling outside of that one performance. And again, it was in kind of the nut spot against the Lions last week. So we just haven't seen that from him all season. So yeah, I have him coming in under at 60% of the time at 5.5. So yeah, I thought that was probably a good play by itself too. So especially, and again, he moved the market. That under got to plus 110 this morning, which I think is a good look too. So yeah. All right, Connor. I mean, this is the off the wall part of the show, and you start to get into some other stuff. But again, I imagine that's the entirety of the show. So floor is back to you, bud.
Yeah, I mean, where do we want to start here? Because I have like 5 different uncorrelated parlay options. I have one more official play. Like, what do we want to do? You know?
Whatever. We had a couple of those last week. It was really nice. We get to sweat those together. Nelson Aguilar over or under 1.5 receptions, 25 plus receiving yards. He made us wait until the very end of the game, but that was a 38-1 banger. McCaffrey got home as well. So like we had a couple of hits last week. It was nice.
We had the
no rules, man.
All right, well let's roll into some uncorrelated parlays. Let's talk about that because I'm sure that'll take a little bit of time here. All right, so I got a couple of good ones here. I'll start at we'll just go person by person. So I think Rashee Rice is an interesting one, but in an inverse way. I like kind of what he did last week. We saw 9 targets, 8 receptions, 46 yards. He gets a ton of short stuff. I could see them doing that a lot here again, especially if the 49ers are playing zone and just try and get after it, like a lot of screens, a lot of short stuff. So 8 receptions and under 67.5 receiving yards, 16-1. I don't think that's that bad at all. I mean, literally just did it last week. And that was with 20 yards of cushion. That was with like a lot of cushion if he doesn't break a long one, essentially. I don't know. I mean, Noonan, any thoughts on like KC pass catchers, I guess? Because I have 2 KC people and then 2 Niners people.
I like that one. I think that's probably the way I would play Rice as well. Just some of that like quick volume stuff versus really explosives. I'm worried about that in this entire game is both these teams do such a good job limiting explosives. So it's kind of what we touched on that on Wednesday. We're kind of lean under on the game total too, just because we could have some long sustained drives that kind of kill some stuff too. So yeah, I think Sharpie did it last week. So don't hate that at all.
Yeah. Brian Sullivan bringing up Rashee Rice stepping on a player's foot. I don't know. Maybe I missed that. Did you guys hear that?
I don't think I saw that.
I mean, I will, I'll keep an update on it. I'll ask some people in the know and see if there's anything real on it. I mean, there's some rumors about like CMC being injured too. I reached out to people who said that, and then they were like, "Oh, we misheard," so I'm just not really super worried about it. And so, that was a fun one. I thought another good one on the Chiefs. Justin Watson under 1.5 over 16.5 is 5-1. I mean, MVS is playing the whole game, so I can't really take the under receptions there because he's going to see 2 targets, probably 3 targets. Whereas Justin Watson, I mean, I think he's like a 0, 1, or 2 targets max. And he could very easily catch one of those, like in his current role. And so under 1.5 over 16.5 is 5-1. 25 plus is 10-1. I mean, I don't know. I think that's like a pretty fringe bet. Like he's going to have probably 1 catch for 12 to 25 yards, probably in that range, and maybe 30 if he breaks a big one. There's like the meaty range of his outcomes, in my opinion. So I think, both of those are pretty solid. Slop, any Justin Watson takes or, thoughts on the KC pass catchers for this stuff?
The KC pass catchers are what I hate the most is because you don't know which one hit his. So yeah, Watson under the receptions over the yards is definitely because he'll catch 1 ball for 40 yards and then you'll never see him again. Or, nothing. The Rice, I kind of like the under in the yards over the receptions. That's not bad. And he could get loose, but yeah. We were the exact opposite last, I think it was the championship game. I was like, oh my God, this guy's not even getting anywhere near the yards. And he's got like 25 receptions already. Like, what's happening?
Yeah, learned our lesson. We went the wrong way. We were totally wrong in theory, I guess. We were complete oppositely, wrong. But the fact that we played him, I feel like, is a good sign. It's
2 wrongs make a right. That's what I've always heard. So there's that.
That's true. That's math.
So that's old as time.
We were inversely correlated correct. That's how it works as well. Okay, one more. This one is probably the craziest one I've ever done, and you guys are going to think I'm probably dumb for this one. But I was thinking about it this morning, and I'm like, all right, the Chiefs play a lot more heavier packages. They play 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends sometimes.
What?
We have Noah Gray 3 receptions and under 11.5 receiving yards. We're talking about, imagine he gets like, a couple, like a first down conversion for like 2 yards, maybe
1 yard touchdown,
1 yard touchdown, or an inside the 10 thing. That's 47-1. I mean, if you do it two catches and under 11.5, it's like 10-1, which is still solid, but not as exciting. And then if you add in the touchdown, so anytime touchdown, 3 receptions under 11.5 yards, again, it's 225-1. So like completely outrageous. But like, if you're going to go along that narrative, I don't think it's like the worst way to spend, a couple bucks. All right. Did I at least convince you to throw like $1 on it, or no shot? You're wasting a single penny.
I have both the Justin Watson one, and I have both iterations of Noah Gray on the list to talk about, because I think they're both kind of interesting.
Let's go.
Because Gray's involved. Like, and we talked about another thing we talked about on the show. Like, they've gone from 3 tight end sets, running that at 7% clip on during the regular season. It's up to 19%, and they're mostly using it. They're running out of it at like 76%. So they're only throwing out of it a little bit, but Gray's on the field more, and he is like, even in 2 tight end sets, he's the first one over Blake Bell. So, and they do that quite frequently too. So yeah, I like it. Just the binary props on him too, like, I think are interesting. 1.5 receptions, 11.5 receiving yards. But I made the case, like, I have both, like, over 1.5 receptions, under 11.5 receiving yards at like plus 869. And then the other way, under just the one big play, under 1.5 receptions, over 11.5 at 8-1. I think they're both interesting. So you can, the touchdown. Yeah. And you're going to like three receptions. That's a little rich, but I looked at his game log. Like, he has a few of them. He's been involved. So look, the dude, they don't want the other doofuses on the field, right? They don't want Hardman or Tony out there. And like, Sky Moore is going to come off IR, and all of a sudden they're going to go with a bunch of 3 receiver sets. Like, I don't think they are. So I think they're going to be able to run so well out of the jumbo formations too. Like, Gray's going to be on the field. So some sort of Gray bet, I am 100% down. Might as well make it 225-1. So yeah, I like it.
Slop, where's your head at here? Are you a Noah Gray guy, or you think he's?
No,
I mean, he can't be any worse than MVS, but
yeah, I've bet way dumber stuff than that. So I'm in there. I'm thinking, like, what about Ayuk? I mean, it's plus 556, under 4.5 receptions, over 62.5 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, same thing happened last week. He gets targeted 8 times, catches 2 of them, and then somehow a ball hits another guy in the face. He falls down. Ayuk jumps on it. Somehow he's got 51 yards. Like, that can happen. Like, I feel like that's the way that it would happen. But
yeah,
I mean,
you imagine he catches another face mask ball in this game?
I mean, seriously, like, if he did not, think about like this. If he did not do that, he catches 2 for 17 against arguably the worst secondary we've ever seen in our lives, being targeted 7 times or 8 times. Sorry. I mean, that can happen. But like, that's the thing though. Like, that's actually a good stat is my point. Like, that's for this. That's a great stat.
Yeah.
He won't catch 5 balls, but he can get you 70.
That's true. I mean, they do move him around enough too. Like, he plays like 75, 80% on the outside, something like that. But he plays a little bit in the slot, like 20, 30%. So if they move him around, like, he's going to get a couple targets that will be like not with L'Jarius Sneed on him. And I think he could win a couple reps against L'Jarius Sneed as well here and there. So like, I mean, yeah, actually, Slop, you talked me into it.
Yeah, he didn't even win the rep last time. Like, the guy really hit the guy in the face. Ball was nowhere near him.
Noonan, we have someone comparing you to Baker Mayfield in the middle. I feel like that's I
don't know what he means by that, but I take it as disrespect.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like Baker Mayfield's a good-looking guy. I mean,
I think he's
a bad quarterback, but like.
I'll take it. Thanks, Avi. Appreciate you, buddy. Hit the subscribe. We call the kid from Sandlot. I think this is better than the kid from Sandlot, right?
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. That's a step up.
Yeah. So hey,
kid from Sandlot never took a snap in the NFL.
No,
that's a fact. No. Let's look it up.
100%.
Doesn't have a Heisman or whatever.
Oh yeah, I never won a Heisman either.
So yeah. All right, last one for me. CMC under 4.5 receptions, 40 receiving yards again. We hit it last week.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're looking at 16-1 on, is that right? Under 4.5, 40 plus, because his over is juiced up, like favored over. So I just don't think there's gonna be much passing volume. Like I think that all these Niners guys, like Kittle's prop too, is worth paying attention to. It was 4.5 at open and receptions, and like all the yardage was still there. So I played all those just at open, but now it's 3.5, which I don't like as much. I just think all these guys are going to have limited volume, and like some of them are going to pop. I'm just not really sure which one and for how much.
Might as well have them all.
I'm on pace. I mean, honestly, now that you've talked to me about Ayuk, I'm very much on pace to have literally every single one of them.
Like every time someone does something, you're like, yeah, or like, damn it.
That's what I'm going to my friend's house, and he's like a big Niners fan, and he's like, don't be like cheering that much for the Chiefs. And I'm like, brother, I have bet on literally every single aspect of this game. I'm not going to be cheering for I'm going to be cheering for everything and nothing at the same time. Like, I don't even know what I'm be rooting for at this point.
Yeah, we get to spray the board time in the conference championship game too on the Niners. You know, like under on the receptions, over in the yards for all those guys. Things we can get some big plays and stuff like that. So yes, CMC hit. Yeah, interesting. So yeah, no, I like those, Connor. I mean, I particularly like some of the Noah Gray stuff. You make a good case that MVS is you're going to be on the field so much, so under 1.5 receptions is tough. We thought he got there last week for us, or last game, and he caught that late pass.
So sad.
Missed one of those earlier receptions somehow. But yeah, I mean, under 1.5, 25 plus is 12-1. I like the Watson stuff as well there too. And yeah, those are interesting. Where you at, Slop? What do you got next?
All right, I only have one like super weird play, and it's only because it's the Super Bowl. I'd never do this in any other game, but you kind of got to go final score. Like you almost just have to. So Chiefs 20, 49ers 16. I think it's gonna be a snooze fest. I don't want to take the under because I hate the under, but I think this thing goes under. Like that's one reason why I'm not too excited about the game, just because of that. But it is the Super Bowl, so I am excited. That makes sense. But yeah, 2016 plus 19,000 at FanDuel. I think we're going to see a lot of long drives. Everything I hate in a football game. A lot of long drives, short dink and dunk passes, not a lot of touchdowns. Just it could be rough. But I think the Chiefs win the game. I really do. I think that I'm going to sit down in front of the TV Sunday night and be very happy that I didn't take the 49ers and like minus 2.5 with Brock Purdy. I think he stinks. I don't think he's very good. Like I just do. And I don't know. 2016 feels right. Plus 19,000. And if you're watching the game with your friends and you hit one of these, you are an instant legend forever. Like it's forever. It never goes away. You can always bring that up.
I'm sure in any cycle of any fight, any discussion, disagreement,
it will always play. Here's the one thing I will say though: if you do this, and any final score bet, don't tell people you have it when you get there, and then start announcing what you need every single try. Like it just like it's not gonna hit. Nobody's impressed. Everyone hates you. You know what I'm saying? Like so, like for doing that, and it's just like the worst is whenever it gets to the second half and it still could happen. And you got someone just telling you about what they need. It's like, buddy, like this is like, it's up there with fantasy team in terms of like, nobody gives a shit. You know what I mean? About your team. Like they just don't. Like it's very important to you, not important to anybody else. So just a little etiquette there. That's all. Just a better party for 100%.
Especially on the correct
hit, you are allowed to talk. You're good there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If any bet hits, I think, but all right, there's my guy. We're good. You know, sweat him out. You know, you got a room full of people with, laundry list of tickets. It's hard to. Connor and I watched the games together last week, and it's like I know Connor's got. Well, first of all, I know 90% of his action, but I also know that he has like 90 bets. So like, you don't need to go blow by blow for all of them. I'm guilty of it because one of my guys puts his nose in on a tackle or doesn't. I'm like, I want that, and I'll speak up there. But it's a good etiquette call. So
it's tough, man. You get fired up. Now you're drinking. It's the last game of the season. You got way more bets than you normally have. Like, I mean, I totally get it. Like, no one's judging. It's just you got to reel it in.
You know how jacked I was for Mecole Hardman playing a single snap. I was literally. It was like
tweeted about.
Because I bet under 1.5 receptions, and like I was like, wow, he's not playing. Like, first drive goes by, second drive goes by. I'm like, man, this is it's getting sweaty. Is he going to play a snap? Because then you're just on a snap count, runs one route, and then there was a penalty on the next snap. And people are like, oh, there was a penalty. It's not going to count. So I'm like furiously looking through game logs to make sure that it was that play that he actually played on. It was not a different one. But he got that one snap. He literally ran like basically behind the line of scrimmage. Mahomes didn't even look at him. So if for some reason Mecole Hardman's active and we get a line on him, I will be taking his under at under half of whatever, half a yard, half a reception. I don't care. I'll be betting the under just for fun.
Gotta go back to the well for sure. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So let me see if I have any others. Because Connor kind of was there with me. The other one I have, Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings is like kind of a sneaky, deep average depth of target. It doesn't get a ton of volume. They don't run a lot of 3 receiver sets. But Juwan Jennings, under 1.5 receptions, over 14.5 receiving yards, just his binary prop, is basically 7-1 on FanDuel. So that's my only other one that Connor didn't touch on, because I like the Watson, and the Gray stuff there as well. So yeah, those are of interest to me. So some other stuff that is kind of of interest here. I don't know where to go. I got a lot of stuff. I love CMC stuff. Like, I want a bunch of CMC stuff. The more I think about it, I think regardless of what you think of how this game plays out, like if the Niners win, CMC is going to be heavily involved. Even if they're not, like he's Purdy's struggling. Like, I think we get CMC in the passing game more. Like, you think he's going to be heavily involved. So I played his first carry direction to the left. Was my first play of the week here. And that was minus or plus 135. I think it's still plus money out there. Niners lead the league in rushes to the left. 58% of their attempts are right behind big old Trent Williams' ass. And I imagine they start the game off that way as well. Again, if you still get plus money there too. They have bands on that too. So left 4 or fewer is plus 275. Left 5 to 9 is probably the most interesting to me price-wise. Is like 8-1. So he just has like a nice yard, nice little carry, 5-yard carry, 8-1 to the left side of the field, 8-1 to start your day. Like, you haven't even had like the main meal yet. You're kind of cooking already. So I think that's a nice one. His basic line is first carry is 3.5 minus 115. So yeah, you're 8-1 feels like a nice jump for just another 1.5 yards or so. 10 plus, you want an explosive from him is 9-1. So I feel like the 8-1 is kind of mispriced. You can lay a little bit of juice, minus 140 on DraftKings for CMC to have 30 plus rushing yards in each half. I don't like that. I don't mind laying that juice. I think like longest, I like both. I like longest rush, 17.5, and longest reception, 13.5 too. Like, I think you're going to see a lot of second level blitzing from Kansas City. It's what they do. They blitz at the second level. Linebackers, corners at the 4th highest rate in the league. The bunch formations of what Shanahan does offensively brings those guys in, makes it a little bit easier for him to disguise those. And I think it's going to be something that Purdy, like, it's just kind of forced to do, to get the ball out quickly. He does a really good job at avoiding sacks, but I think he's going to have to get some balls out quick and dump off to CMC. Again, you get all of a sudden, a corner or safety blitzing, and that linebacker has to drop in coverage and cover CMC in the flat. I think that's going to be something they're looking to do. They want to get Nick Bolton. They want to get Drew Tranquil in coverage against CMC as much as possible. So I think the CMC longest stuff makes a ton of sense. And I think he is probably the best value in terms of Niners to win the MVP, outside of Purdy, obviously. But 450, I think, is, if you like the Niners to win the game, I think the CMC MVP vote, even though, you could have got 7 a couple weeks ago, or whatever, 450 is still of interest to me. So yeah, I love lots of different CMC stuff here. So you mentioned CMC MVP. Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. People have been texting me like, how is CMC plus 450? I mean, I think that if the Niners win the way that I expect them to win, CMC is like a way more likely option than even like Purdy.
Agreed.
Like, it would take, I don't know. I'm having a really tough time envisioning Purdy having like an awesome game. Like, that's just like, maybe he has a good moment or two. Maybe he throws a touchdown. I like 250 yards and 2 touchdowns and no interceptions would be really surprising to me. Like, that would be like, I would be very surprised. And so, like, for them to win and CMC has like 125 and 2 scores, and they win 2017, 24, 21, whatever, like somewhere in that range, CMC is definitely winning MVP. So I don't know. I mean, I just like, I think plus 450 is still like way too low. That's probably one of my bigger, that was by far my biggest MVP bet. I don't know. I think it's a solid look.
Yeah. Slop, I know you're not there on Niner MVP tickets, but partially because you're not a Purdy though. So I guess you'd probably could back it.
If you're, I mean, obviously you want to kind of have a couple MVPs just because that's how MVPs work. But if I'm taking a 49er to get MVP, it's not going to be Purdy. Like I want to be a Purdy guy. Like I kind of dress like him. You know what I mean? Like it seems like my kind of guy. Like I would hang out with him. But like when you watch a player, it's like, man, like I just don't think he's that good. You know, like he could show up and throw 4 picks, dude. Like that could happen. And the thing is, like, I mean, I'm maybe not 4 and they could win, but like, what if he throws a couple picks? Somehow they still win though. It's probably because of CMC. Like that's, like all roads would lead. It'll be an obvious, not the quarterback situation. That's all I'm saying. If 49ers win. So I don't know.
Also, ESPN bet has, so you can bet individual alternate over interceptions. So I took this for both quarterbacks just because, I mean, again, I've been just betting fucking everything. So it's over half interceptions, whatever, normal one. Over 1.5 interceptions was 4-1 for both of them. Over 2.5 interceptions was like 16-1 for both of them. I mean, obviously, I think Purdy is way, way more live for that than Mahomes. 3 interceptions for Mahomes would take like, I don't even know. Has he even thrown 3 interceptions in a game in his career? I'm not even sure. But
I think so. I think once. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think Purdy is, I mean, he's already done this year against one of the top 5 defenses that he played. So I don't think it would be that crazy. Now they probably wouldn't win in that scenario, but again, the interception prop 15-1 could do worse.
I'll be honest with you. That's like an over on how bad he is. So
it is.
I could take that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be
folks
fun.
in our.
I don't like the negative props, like the unders or the turnovers in basketball, or the interceptions, but
yeah,
that you can kind of turn that into a positive pretty quick.
It correlates well with your any KC to win tickets or anything like that. So
yeah.
Folks in our Discord at 444 telling us back to my Justin Reed over Jair Brown prop. Looks like MGM, if you can get down there at all, has the that matchup and Reed minus 120. Good thing about MGM, not everyone can get down. Good thing is that they're slow to move the line sometimes. So if you happen to have the ability to get over there and get something down, that number is still hanging out over there. So
get your $3 in.
Get in, get out.
That's what they do. Instead of move lines, they say, hey, you know what? How about $3?
Yeah.
You wanted your 100, but we can do.
I got a couple of weird ones. I want to get your guys' thought on. I touched on this a little bit at the end of our Wednesday show. I want to get Slop's reaction. This is a DraftKings specific one. You probably can find it elsewhere. Again, these menus are so hard to navigate. APIs make it hard for us to aggregate this stuff in any sort of tool or anything like that. But time of first possession under 3 minutes and 15 seconds. This is minus 110. So just the first drive, whoever gets the ball first has the ball for less than 3 minutes and 15 seconds. When you look at league average, time of possession is 2 minutes and 43 seconds. So no team averaged this much at any point this season. Both the Niners and the Chiefs have lower averages than this, less than 3 minutes actually. And then you look at last year, the first drive in last year's game went over this. The next 5 all went under. So you can still get a first down too and still go under this, again, depending on how play sequencing and incomplete passes or anything like that. You just typically see it, especially Slop, to your point, if you have Purdy and the Niners get the ball first, it's not uncommon. We have historically seen first quarters be under in tight and more punts than expected. Games starting a little bit slow. It's just the nature of the Super Bowl. It's a very different pace, the way that the game goes, and it's obviously a larger moment. It's hard not to experience and feel that. So under 315, again, just minus 110. Again, obviously looking at league averages is just one way to look at it. But I thought it was a little interesting considering no team really even touches this. We're not having to really pay any tax on it. So off the top, hearing it for the first time, Slop, what are your thoughts?
I don't mind it. Those are tough, but I mean, you're right. Like they are so tight, the Super Bowls. It's just like nobody wants to mess up. Like it's almost like you don't want the ball first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just because, like, no, seriously, like it's not even like they're on offense. Like it's just they just show up scared. I can see that. I mean, that's you would think it'd be in the twos.
That's my point.
You know what I
right?
mean? Offhand, like it's weird to hear like that would be in the threes.
Yeah, I think one team averaged over 3 all season on their average drive. So, considering the nature of the environment in the moment, I think that's probably a little too high. Also, tie in the first half. I mean, these are games. We expect this to be a tight game. And there's better ways to do this too. So tie in the first half is plus 950 on DraftKings. You can go over on Caesars and go tie first half, Niners to win, 20-1. Tie first half, KC to win, 19-1. So whoever you like to win, instead of just betting tie flat out, the game's obviously not going to end in a tie. You got to pick a winner. You can pick both. It's not going to cost you very much. Sprinkle 19 and a 20 on your side. So hey, it's interesting to me that the Chiefs are shorter in this instance, just considering I guess what they think the game script is going to be with it being a tie. But I don't know, 10-10 first half, and we see what happens. We had a tie last year, I think. We've had numerous ties historically in the first half and some low-scoring games. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I'll probably get down on I'm warming up to the Niners side. Sorry, Slap. A tie and Niners win 20-1.
You're going to watch – I'm telling you, you're going to watch 2 drives and be like, what the hell
man.
did I do? Like, what was I thinking? I do all the time. I have to think about future me sitting down on the couch on Sunday to kind of get in, and talk myself out of nonsense, because I'm so susceptible to doing stupid stuff that, like, I have to go to that. And every time I go to that, I'm like, wow, like, they're giving me 2.5 points with Mahomes.
I know.
It's a lot.
It's been
man. At the same
where
time,
I've been for 2 weeks.
The Niners. Yeah, no, that's the problem with 2 weeks too. You get so much time to think about it that you end up like Connor with a spreadsheet full of plays, and like you don't even know what you have.
Yeah.
That's a good problem to have, though. Like that's
you just wait and see the balances at the end. Yeah.
There's too many bets is better than not enough bets. You know what I mean? Because that game's gonna end and it's over. Like it hits you pretty hard that, like, damn, like we're not.
And then all off season, it's just draft season. Just gonna be sweating draft bets. Who said what? Who said this? I mean, obviously that's great too, but it's a different kind of sweat. Like
it ain't the same. It's not the same as Sunday game day. I'll give you that. But no, it's a great sweat on its own. But I mean, like I'm telling you, like right after the game, like I haven't looked yet, but like it's the first thing I'm thinking is there like a college basketball game on right now that I could, some bullshit school like on the West Coast, they got a game, because like you need to like immediately get into something else or you're gonna get sad. You're like, man, this is not cool. Over.
Getting flop in the golf streets this summer, kind of balance out the college stuff. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I love Connor's approach here. I probably won't spray the board as much as Connor is here, but yeah, I think that it's bet responsibly outside of the Super Bowl. You gotta spray the board a little bit. So yeah, I mean, hey, picking a team is fun. Whatever, might as well find a way to like leverage it a little bit more. I think Niners with you're cheering for a tie at the end of the half. That's one of those things
on every play.
Yeah.
Somehow.
It's just weird. Those are.
But pre-snap, though, you don't want to be doing it on your phone while the play. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you got to do it. You got to think ahead about future you and how am I going to make sure that I'm involved in every single play.
There are some fun ones that like to have a catch this drive. I know Miko and Solak and Dalton have been betting those. Love them. I mean, those are in big games. They're so fun, especially because I think we're going to see a lot of sustained drives, but maybe not like just kind of like long sustained drives. Like I think Kelsey and Rashee Rice numbers are going to be awesome. For the Niners, Debo numbers are going to be great. I'm not betting them first drive, but like let the game settle in a little bit. And then, we're talking about like second half, maybe first couple drives there. I think they'll dial up some guys, their plays, their playmaker. So, yeah,
I like that quite a bit. Same thing. I'm looking to, some of the plays on the defensive side that I haven't made that I want to make. I'm going to let kind of the first quarter dictate because there's going to be live opportunities. I think there's going to be one of the premier linebackers in this game, Nick Bolton, Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner are going to fly over their number. I haven't bet any of them before the game because like long sustained drive and you're on the sideline while your team is like, just going down with, 10, 12 play drive, your number is just going to slowly dip. So there's going to be, easier opportunities. And then when you get on the field and the other team takes you for a rinse for, a 10-play drive, you can stack them up. So there's going to be opportunities live to take advantage. So I've waited on some of those. So fired on a bunch of other ones. Like we bet Willie Gay under 4.5 tackles and assists. Love that one. Willie Gay's impact in this game is, I think, way overrated. It definitely is his tackle volume. Played Mike Edwards over 3.5. Again, some of these numbers might be cooked because I put out my article a couple hours ago, and I know some sharp people have looked at it and they've probably moved it. I think one of the Lenore, one of the cornerbacks for the Niners, is a great look too. Over 3.5 solo tackles, over 4.5 combined tackles and assists is one of my favorite looks in the game too. So, Connor, what else you got? I know you got anything else that you've bet that's still live, or what else?
Yeah, I got another official play for the people. I was caught sleeping there. All right, so this is kind of a fun one. Kelsey first reception for the Chiefs. So I got my hands a little dirty here, obviously outside of like the name brand stuff. So if you go back and watch all their first 3 playoff games, every single first read was to Kelsey in all 3 games. So basically the first game against the Dolphins, it was like a play action. And Kelsey ran like over the middle, but Mahomes' eyes did not move out of the middle of the field, and Kelsey was the only one in the middle. It was like he knew that he was running in between the zone, missed him, but it's the intent that matters. The second game, he went the next 2 games, went in motion behind the line of scrimmage on both first plays. Against the Ravens, it was just like a short little dump off 4 yards. It was literally just like reading the end. He like bumped the end and then ran out for 4 yards. So, and then the other game, it was he went in motion and then they just had him locked down. So Mahomes looked his way, was like, oh shit, under pressure, like scrambled out and then hit Rashee Rice. But his first look was to Kelsey. So like, again, more oftentimes than not, I think it's going to Kelsey. So we're getting plus 250 at Caesars. You can find this under receiving props, scroll down. So like, yeah, is it like an awesome problem? I'm doing like risk 0.4 units to win a unit. So like, I don't think it's like crazy, but at the same time, like I think there's some value there. I think it should probably be close to like 2 to 1 because just like what we've seen from them so far in the playoffs.
I like that. 250 is a nice little number too. Slop, is there a MVP path for the Niners outside of Mahomes? I don't see it necessarily. I know people are trying to see it. Chelsea's got a big old number.
I don't think so. You know what I kind of do like though is Pacheco 80 plus yards. It's like 80 plus rushing yards is plus 148. I don't know if you noticed, but like you could just run on the Niners like Aaron Jones did. I mean, the Packers literally just ran at them and they had to know it was coming. I mean, the weather that night, and plus it's the Packers off it, like they couldn't stop it. And then Montgomery and the other kid, the Gibbs kid, both of them did fine last week. So now you gotta, you're contending with, you're thinking about Mahomes. You're not thinking about, this run game. So like 80 plus yards. I mean, if going through his game logs, I think he was at like 97 last week. It took him 24 rushes to get, whatever he got to, but that was the Ravens. So, whatever, but 97 against Buffalo, 89 against Miami, $130 against Cincinnati, $110 against looks like Green Bay. I mean, like he's gone for like big days. So 80 plus yards just does not feel like a lot.
Yeah, I like that. I like him. I like different ways to attack him. I have his longest as a look, 15.5 minus 105 is out there. We touched on it again on the Wednesday show. Like the Niners refuse to go 5 down defensive linemen. And that's a problem with this jumbo 2 tight end set that the Chiefs are running at a higher rate than normal. They're going to have to make tackles in space. Pacheco's going to be, I think he's going to have some splash plays. He's going to have to go for a buck and change in multiple scores, and Mahomes is going to have like a pedestrian game. So I guess 30 to 1 is not a bad number, but man, it's Patrick Mahomes. The way that the MVP is so weird too in the Super Bowl, like they're asking for that bet, like in the middle of third quarter, like they want people's votes like early in that game. It's really weird. So I don't know. Mahomes feels like such a lock to me, Connor. But yeah, you want to make the case.
Bob, I'm telling you now that the dog just barked. I mean, you have to bet Pacheco MVP. It's like, this is the dog seal of approval is a strong one. No, but I think you laid it out well. It's like, I mean, you're paying like, 30 to 1, right? So it's like, a 1 in 30 chance of Mahomes throwing a pick in the game being like 21-17, like, and the Chiefs win on the back of 120 yards and 2 touchdowns for Pacheco. Like, maybe, like maybe you're better off just like SGPing it, but I don't even know if the SGP would get to 30-1 based on a Mahomes interception, 2 touchdowns. Like, I don't think it would even get there. Like, it'd probably be like 15-1, 16-1. So, I mean, again, it's like kind of an outlandish take, I think, in some sense. It's definitely on an island. Like, I would say 95% of people agree with you guys. And I do think that in the majority of outcomes, if the Chiefs win, Mahomes will win MVP. And we saw Damian Williams, right, have like 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, and they lost. But I think that was a higher scoring game, though. That was like they scored 30 something, right? And they had that comeback and everything. And was that against the Niners? Who was that against? So, yeah. So, I mean, like, I think, like, obviously if that game ends a lot lower scoring and Mahomes doesn't have that like sick comeback, then maybe he's not MVP. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple of Brady non-MVPs, Deion Branch, Julian Edelman. So like,
Jules.
Goats don't always win it. So yeah, I guess you can get there. You sold me a little bit because I like Pacheco. So I'm in on Pacheco having, whether it's some splash plays. What else? There's another Pacheco play that I had too. First half rushing yards, Pacheco over 35.5. It's a little higher, right? So like his normal number is like 67.5 on most thoughts. But like, regardless of what you think in the game, like it's probably early. They probably try to lean into that a little bit more early. So 35.5, I think, is minus 110 on DraftKings. I think that's you're going to go to whatever first half lines, and 35.5 for Pacheco is I think is a good look. So yeah, I'm definitely in on Pacheco being massively impactful in this game. So yeah, 30-1, you sold me a little bit. So yeah, and Steve's mentioning first quarter line too. 16.5. Yeah, don't.
This is Silva's play of the century. So it's probably dead. Yeah, it's loves Pacheco first quarter over 16.5. I mean, I think he might hit that on the first drive if they really commit to the run, to be honest. Like, I think they're going to, but I mean, I thought they were going to do that for multiple games, and then they just came out and threw the ball anyways against the Bills and Dolphins and the Ravens. I mean, like, the Ravens have a great pass defense and they still passed it plenty. So I don't know. It's just, when it comes down to it, the Chiefs are not scared of anyone. They're going to put the ball in Mahomes' hands and let him do whatever. So, it's kind of tough.
Silva being too drunk to drive home from my house in the Super Bowl, tradition unlike any other. So imagine he'll be sleeping on my couch again this year. Something that happens every year. Although we'll see. His daughter's coming this year, so we'll see. He probably finds a way home. So
you'd think that would make him more responsible.
You would think. All right, Slav, you got anything else to people? I've one more little look I want to get to, but I want to give you the floor first.
Yeah, I think you gotta kind of bet the Gatorade just because, like, after. I mean, it's a long game. Everyone's tired. Most of your bets are already you know about them, and now you just want to have one more sweat. And I'd say the Gatorade's probably the way to go. I got a Gatorade guy. Lucky for us, I got a Gatorade guy. He's saying blue. Blue is 3 out of the last 5. But this is not a trend play. This is a generational play, basically. Like, he's saying the young guys, they like the blue. They're all about the blue. And that's all I can really say. All right. Right now, it appears that blue is plus 375. I can't bet it here in Massachusetts for some reason because they didn't file the correct paperwork, I think. FanDuel, something like that. Not a slander to our sponsor, FanDuel. You guys are doing a great job. But, got a Gatorade guy. He's best there is. He was wrong last year. Full disclosure, but not his fault. I'm sure they probably picked up the wrong bucket or something. But, no, the Chiefs have gone orange. I think in 2020 they went purple last year. Obvious choice is blue.
So I, too, also have a Gatorade guy who will let us know like 30 minutes to an hour before game time what the Chiefs thing is. But the Chiefs have to win. That's the issue, is that the Chiefs have to win. So I don't I might just I might just bet a bunch on Niners money line, then a bunch on like the Gatorade color, just use it as like a hedge on like Chiefs money line. I don't know, like maybe have a little more exposure, because I feel like blue would be a good one. Last time was purple. The time that they played 49ers, they went with orange. So I mean, maybe they're mixing it up. Maybe they're going blue, or they're just
might have the same Gatorade guy. Is that what
we might
figure out?
We might.
You talking about Todd?
No, different Gatorade.
I don't even know what Todd is.
Comparing drug dealers. Like, this is great.
I have no idea who Todd is.
We going to the same guy or what?
So here's the thing, Slav. The kids like the blue, so they drink the blue. That's why the orange is around.
Yep. No, that's the thing. Yeah. So maybe they have like one that they plan on. We talked about this earlier today. And we're thinking there's also a chance that there's just one like hanging around that no one like drinks out of. Because like there's no limit to how many Gatorade containers could be on the sideline, right? Like it could just be whatever.
Right. Interesting. Yeah. Is there so lemon lime, it's yellow/green. Especially, well, at least at DraftKings, they post both. So
yeah,
Jeff's asking about the specifics of what is lemon lime classified as. So yeah, interesting. I felt like I've had like misguided, passionately held Gatorade color takes in the past, and I don't this year. So we'll ride it out, but I'll let you guys tell me what your Gatorade guy tells you, and we'll go from there.
Biggest issue with the Gatorade is usually you're so hammered by the time it's like you miss it, or you like I thought it was purple and it turned out it was green. You know what I mean? Like I didn't.
Yeah. They almost never get it live on camera too, so you gotta like wait.
Yeah.
Oh god, terrible sweat.
Find somebody. People on Twitter start rumors, which I think is funny, but as someone with the ticket, that always sucks because you're like, I don't know if this, clumsy 69 guy is legit or not. But you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's tough.
Crack rock.
Yeah, crack rock. It's like it sounds legit, but
well, if your Gatorade guy is hanging out at Mar-a-Lago, then we're set. So we'll be able to get all that information. One of the last things I have here, this is a DraftKings specifics thing. I think sometimes you see it in other books, but I haven't seen it anywhere else. The top of the screen, cross sport specials. They give you NBA props. They also have soccer props. Apparently, you can do that. That's a sport. And then there's also golf props, which is where I'm going to hang out with. So, a couple that interest me. First, there is what will be more. There's Jordan Spieth round 4 total birdies versus total made field goals in the game. This is a 3-way market, which makes it a little bit interesting. So tie is available. We have projected, again, head over to betsportsgolf.com if you want to bet golf with us this year. We have Spieth's birdies per round here, a little bit higher. Scoring was a little bit lower in round 4 last year. We got him about 4.75. Don't think there's going to be that many made field goals. You could sell me on attempted field goals, but I can lay minus 105 on Spieth birdies. That's interesting to me. And also the Scotty Scheffler one. What will be more? Scotty Scheffler round 4 birdies versus total touchdowns in the game. Both total touchdown markets are at 2.5, juiced a little bit to the over. Just telling you around 5 or so. I'm going to have Scotty probably and if you were to bet his birdie line, it's probably going to be 5.5, juiced to the over 2. Still think Scotty could probably win this tournament. He's a little bit of a slow start here, but still one of the favorites to win it. Back-to-back champs going for a 3rd in a row. So, Scheffler getting 6 birdies, that's plus 190. Again, the 3-way market there as well. So I like the Spieth one a little bit better, but I like the Scheffler one too. Those are DraftKings specific novelty props on the waste management. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Love that. And before we get into the listener section here too, I want to tell the folks we have a new partnership, DraftKings Pick 6. It's like a new pick'em style platform. You choose players that more or less of a certain statistical category. It's kind of like Prize Picks, like Underdog, same thing, except there's like a peer-to-peer aspect of the whole thing. So you can win way more or not win as much, but depending on who everyone else picks. There's some interesting off-market lines there. Purdy under 33.5 pass attempts is just like way off market. Don't really know what it's doing there, but people also don't like to bet under. So you can just take advantage of people's biases towards betting overs and take the under there. So under 33.5 pass attempts. And I like Juwan Jennings under 1.5 receptions as 2 of my favorite looks there. I know I'm a little bit wild with my, takes on Pick 6 here, but it's a solid thing, solid app. Go check it out. You can find the link in the show notes. So there you go.
Do they do LOL?
I think they might, honestly. I know you're a big LOL guy now, aren't you?
Huge.
Yeah, you're killing it, right? That's your
I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't really understand the game, but
it doesn't matter. You're winning though. That's what we're talking about.
Yes, it has won. I'm up a little bit, but you got to keep going. They play every day. Love the kids. They play every day, every single day. They just play video games, and you can bet on them. And I think that's awesome. But if you can do LOL on the Pick 6, I might be in on Pick 6.
I like it.
I'm not sure, honestly. And if they don't, I can put in a request and be
That's
like,
what
hey
you should
guys,
do. Say, hey, look, you know what? Some of
Know a
the
guy.
guys were saying we want to bet on kids playing video games. They're not
Yeah, I mean,
really
nothing
kids,
better.
though. They're like early 20 guys. So there's that. It's not actual like teenagers.
How did you get into this slop? Like, how did you wind up in, you know, do you ever like
Fantasy
building an LOL
optimizer.
lineup and you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
Well,
Like, did you ever
it's
get
the
there?
fantasy optimizer at OddsJam,
Okay.
right? So you get on it and you're looking for value, and then but the stuff disappears quick. It's just what you were saying though, was Purdy under the whatever 33. It's like 31 and a half of the book. So the optimizer is picking these off, right? So there's a list of them and you got to be quick. Well, the problem is they go away before I can hit submit. So then I just ended up just like, you know what, let's just go all esports. That way I don't get frustrated, nothing is broken, and I can get a slip in. And it actually works. And I was like, wow, like I don't know what I'm watching. I don't really watch the game. I just kind of watch the stats, you know. But yeah, that's how I got into it though. Is like not being able to get into NBA. I'll have like one NBA guy and then all a bunch of like video game monikers. It's just weird. But kind of fun.
Wherever the money is, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough work. Not an easy life.
Tony, you want to run through some questions? They were running a little long, but hey, it's the last one.
Yeah,
Slop, you got a couple minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, Evie, let's get this show on the road. Have all the
What's up,
screens to watch the Waste Management and the boys on the tube and Pat McAfee show. Love that. That's a great combo right there. I'm very jealous of that. A nice. If you got multiple screens, you know, put us all on the different screens there. That's fun. Jeff,
Evie, I want to apologize to Evie because Evie was waiting. He wanted to add the. I told him I had a tackle prop coming. You said he wanted to add it to his Prize Pick slip, and there was a matchup and not a Prize Picks available one. So Evie, I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, that's tough. But I don't know. You could probably read your column, and I'm sure there's some off-market lines that you could probably take advantage of on Prize Picks, Vivid, maybe DK Pick 6. Who knows? Elijah Mitchell over 4.5 rushing yards. Are you an Elijah Mitchell guy, Slop? I don't know. I feel like it's like a kind of a cult that I joined that I am now a part of.
No, you got to know people to get into that cult. I don't know.
Yeah, it's I'm not extremely exclusive. But you know, it's kind of like being a Justin Watson truther. You know, you just like get on there and back it whenever it makes sense, and there's no right or wrong or no rhyme or reason. So, let's see here. Candors shitting on the books. It's amazing how books have pivoted from their usual setup. How can we make finding these markets as difficult as possible? Yeah, Noonan, I feel like that's pretty accurate.
Did a great job.
Yeah. It's nuts.
Complete disaster. Noonan, where are you at with Kyle Juszczyk? We haven't really talked about this. 5.5 rushing receiving yards, 3.5 receiving yards.
I don't have a strong feeling.
I mean, he's going to run a couple routes. He'll be out there a lot. But he's Kyle Juszczyk. Like, I don't know.
You got to pay way too much attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could miss that one. Like, I don't know, you're getting something to eat or I don't know. Like that's a tough one. And then you come back in and ask, nobody knows who the guy is. Like, yeah, white guy just caught a ball. And it's like, that was Kittle. You know what I mean? It's like that's, yeah.
That was Charlie Warner, actually. You know, it wasn't Kyle.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't even you. But you think you won for a second. Like, you never want that. Like, that's just bad aura.
Yeah, just how it goes. Bennett, Kelsey over receiving yards to make it 4-4 in the playoffs. DK has the line set at 70.5 for -130. Yeah, if you do any same game parlay, you can get 70 plus for -125. Bit of value if you can get it. We're seeing Kelsey's prop opened at 66 on FanDuel. It's now sitting like 72 at FanDuel. Slop, are you drinking the Kelsey Kool-Aid here, or I feel like the line's kind of just been blowing up?
Yeah, no, I can't do it. I mean, I want to, but I can't. I can't. I'm gonna have so much Kelsey love in my house because of my daughters. So it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need it.
You got enough of that already?
Yeah, we're already over the legal limit.
Oh man, that's fair. Yeah, it's kind of tough. Let's hear. This is a Newton question. Javon Kinlaw, 15,000 to score a touchdown. Seems like a good spot to get his first one.
He's gonna play. I got Javon Kinlaw thoughts. I mean, he's gonna play maybe 30% of the snaps. So, you know, it's not great. But hey,
yeah,
knock yourself out, buddy.
I got a lot of 30s in college. I turned out fine.
Let's hear, Jeff. Where do we fall in the anthem? You know, the birds are chirping. Lean over. Haven't got anything official though. So
she's gone comfortably under, right? All of her like stuff. I know it's been bet out because it was like it opened low 80s now, and again, it's like historically low because You're typically like, 2 minutes and change. So this is still super fast, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we have
Also,
some
why is
people
she
saying it's
singing
right around
National
there. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know who Reba
I
McEntire
think
is. I mean, the
with
only
country
literally
singers, you
like,
want to go
I mean,
over. No, I always thought country singers
old
over. They're
as hell.
more patriotic. Like they tend to
Last
sing
year,
more.
though, we had a country singer, right? I forget his name.
I think it went under.
It went under, but he was like,
Yeah.
it was 35 seconds more than this.
Yeah, like I don't know. I think they stripped him of it. He's not a real country singer. If you know what I mean, you're going under.
Not
on
my
the
looks
genre.
older than my grandmother. I just looked her up. She is old as
She's
dirt,
old.
but she is
She's
going to
old.
be taking 2 minutes up there. I mean, she's not going to be able to croak out
It'll
under
take her 2 minutes to
90
get there.
seconds.
She's not trying to stay up there.
No.
It's a long time.
Yeah, maybe you guys are right. Maybe this is her last hurrah. All right, Darren, use Jack first 49er to reach 25 yards, 30-1. That is hot.
That's the way to play
I don't
it.
know, but that's fun. That's an exciting prop for sure.
Yep.
Let's see here. Jeff, last kicker prop of the year. Moody over 1.5 field goals made. I don't know. I think he's probably going to miss one. I bet on him to miss one, but he's going to get a lot of attempts. I think maybe 2-3 attempts. So we'll see.
What about a doink?
A doink? Yeah, you can bet on a doink, right? What are the odds?
Yeah, that hit last year. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost sure. It was like +4 something.
I feel like that should be more.
Yeah, no, it should be more. Like it was like no matter what you bet that for, it's not enough. I mean,
Yeah.
like when you really zoom out and think about what you're betting on, a man to kick a ball and to hit a stick, like that's like what are you doing?
Yeah.
It seems cool at the time though.
That's so good.
8-1, Canner's is saying.
Yeah, let's see here. 8-1.
8-1.
That's solid.
Nah, it still feels like you should get more.
Still short. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a little bit light. Let's see here. Usher's first song, Loving This Club, +650 seems like stealing. If you're in Canada or if you have access to an offshore, DM me and I will DM you what the first and last song are in the halftime show. You can win your prop pool. You can't bet it shit on it in America, so it doesn't really matter. But I don't want
It's a banger of a song, though. It's a banger of a song. So
yeah, it's not Love in My Club. I'll tell you, it's not that as the first song or last song. But I'm sure he'll play it. Let's see here. We got a couple more comments here. No shit, Connor has no idea who Reba is. Apparently culture isn't allowed in Chicago. Yeah, country music is culture. Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Purdy
Connor's
over 12
like
and a half
23 years old. People don't realize Connor's so young. So.
I'm definitely not 23, but yeah, I'm not quite as old as Reba either. I mean, Reba is legitimately as old as my grandmother. I'll say that. She's like, she's pretty close. Slob, any Purdy takes? I feel like you'd be a Purdy rushing guy. You're not into that?
I don't know. I don't want to root for him to do anything. So if it's rushing yard, I'm out.
I like Purdy. I like Purdy over longest would be the way that I like Purdy.
What is that, Noonan? What is that at?
Like 7.5.
Okay, he like should do this, but like
that makes sense.
I don't want to root for him to do it. I don't want to be happy when he does it. Put it that way. I'm gonna be like, shit. It's gonna be a 3rd down and 15. Yeah. They're gonna have the play sniffed out. Some guy's gonna fall down and he's gonna take off for 20.
Yeah. KC plays a good amount of man. Those types of things. So yeah.
No, 100. That's a great look, actually. I like that. The longest one, because I feel like that's like he's either gonna have one that's like 8 to 10 yards on like a 3rd and 8, something like that, or he might run wild. He might just never run. Like, I mean, his line all year is like 6 yards, 7 yards, and then he has one good game, and now it's like 12, 13.
Yeah,
he's 2 design runs all season. They're not calling runs for Purdy. It's a break the pocket and go.
You're betting on 13 scramble yards from like the whitest dude ever. So I mean, it's just brutal. All right, plus 1,400 octopus for anyone. Player specific would be crazy odds. What is that? Player to score a touchdown and then get the ensuing 2-point conversion. I feel like Kelsey would make sense there, and that might be it. Maybe CMC.
Yeah, Pacheco, right? He scores a rushing touchdown.
I don't think that, like, I just have a hard time seeing them go like, back to back. Yeah, imagine 2 design targets for Noah Gray. I mean, my God, what a world we'd be living in. Noah Gray MVP at that point.
I'll never see it coming.
Oh my God!
It doesn't count as a reception on the 2-pointer either, so that actually.
It's even better.
Yeah.
Bobby Big Wheels. Do I actually know the first song? Yeah, I actually know the first song, of course. Yeah,
dude,
someone already is. Someone has already DM'd me
It was
too.
Todd, wasn't
From
it?
the show. It's hilarious. Okay, well, cool. That's all the questions we have. But I know we ran an hour and 10 minutes. This was just so fun. This is exactly what I wanted.
All the off the wall stuff. Again, we appreciate it as always. Subscribe wherever you're listening. Move the line in the podcast feed. 4for4 bets on the YouTube channel. Again, Connor and I will be picking up here shortly with the offseason stuff. Probably draft heavy out the gates, but again, we'll talk about coaching changes, all the futures, and those. We will have an episode every single week. Thanks, Big Dog in the chat, dropping some stuff here at the end. Yes, Slop, much appreciated, my man. We've enjoyed this. It's been an absolute blast. And you're bringing your Slop army to the 4for4 streets as well. And tell people they can continue to follow you. Hey, you made me some money on Jonathan Kuminga the other night. They could follow you and continue to make some money on the NBA and maybe LOL as well.
Dude, odds jam, dude. The fantasy optimizer is what I'm using for prize picks. I'm dead serious. It sounds ridiculous, but it definitely works, dude. Come get it.
Go ARB with Slop and do all the things you can do with odds jam.
So. I don't know if I can do the ARBs. I don't like gamble. I want to gamble. Like I'm saying, I'm good with the ARBs. Like it's guaranteed money if you're into that, but like I'd rather have like a side.
Yeah. You got a big old bankroll and you can push some money around and you can get down. Yeah. Hey, it's an option. So all right, everyone's gonna be jumping in Connor's DMs to get the Usher takes. So I'm sure he's already fighting them off. So we appreciate you hanging out again. Like you guys make the show. Really, this is we'd be doing this without you, but it'd be way less fun. And we thank you very, very much for your time, giving us an hour at least of your week every week of the season. We appreciate it again. Hoping to run it back with the same crew next year. So for Connor and Slop, I'm Ryan. We'll see you all very soon. Thanks, everyone.